Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2018 Career Mode, episode number 84 now. Latest news on the transfer front. Jack Haig going to BMC, Terpstra, Nawson extending, Quintana, Froome extending. Wow, look at that payday from the Tour of Utah. That's a nice amount of money there. Too bad we don't actually get to use it for anything in this game, anything useful anyway. Osorio is injured. He's got a fractured skull. I am so sorry. Moscow into Bahrain Merida. For Il Lombardia, no invite for us. Ron Craig Anderson wins Bink Bank. And yeah, these guys want deals. Bloody, we don't have anything left to give you. Stefan Kung going to Canyon Iceberg, and Yates extending. There you go. Long list. Groupama FDJ taking Van Mark. Now we're on to the Colorado Classic. Just 4 stages. Stage 1 is just inside of Vail. It does have undulation up, down, but it's definitely not extreme. It should be down to the sprinters for the most part, though they will not be at full sprint capability at the end. And you can see from the looks of the team, we're not coming with sprinters. So stage 1, I'm going to go ahead and bypass that and head straight into a more competitive stage built for our team. Is this one of our sponsor objectives? Not that it matters, we're already past the date anyway. And it's not, right? Oh, that's right, this old one. Oh, it's harder to follow. There you go. Deutschland Tour is the next one, and that's next week. That's the big one I'm looking for. Team time trial. So excited by that. Calendar is nearly done. Let's see here. Colorado Classic. Deutschland. There's the Deutschland Tour with La Vuelta. And yes, we are into La Vuelta. And that's the big thing left, really. Not much else to ride for. Hamilton just setting off. Good time trial rating for him. Not great, though. Today it's a 70. This is not an easy time trial. It's just under 16 kilometers in length, but most of it is uphill, and it's really hard to find the balance of what works. But after 3 riders, I think I've got it down. For one thing, Vervecki ran out of energy way too early, lost a ton of time. But Sorbel and DeVos, I got it pretty much figured out with them. And it looks like a 71 can get you all the way until the last couple hundred meters, and then depending on the rider, they'll have enough energy to get to the end or won't. But that conserves enough energy to get you up the climb at the end. So you can see Hamilton now, he's already going uphill. It's already 3% just to here, but it's steeper after the time check. And even though this puts you down at the time check slightly, it's good overall to be in that position. Conchi, Cohen, both of them are stronger in the time trial and should end up with good time. So all 3 of these guys should be looking at a pretty good time. Lawson Craddock right now has the fastest time at 26 minutes 55 seconds. DeVos has slipped 1 spot to 5th, but he's right at that edge where you really start collecting most of the riders. And Hamilton 8th, 41 seconds down, but we tend to be gaining time here on the climbs, as I have strong climbers here mixed with that decent time trial. That's where it comes together. So you can see how quickly all that extra energy is fading on this climb. Hamilton down to 1.5K. And while I'm tempted to speed him up, this energy will continue to fade before the finish line. 700 meters now. 400 meters now. Now, for once, this is the first time I've finally been able to attack. He still runs out right before the end. Second place, 12 seconds down for Hamilton. That's good. That's really good. Okay. Conchi does not seem to have quite as much energy left. And Veldeman ready to set off here. Let's get him set. He should also be able to produce a decent time. Cohen might be the quickest. Wow, look at that 3 wide there. And here goes Conchi towards the line. Speed it up a little bit. And there you go. Push it over the line. And there you go. Into first place. Having energy to the end makes a massive difference. So Nicola Conchi into the lead. 8 seconds clear of Craddock. Hamilton just 20 seconds down in third. DeVos drops to 9th, but he's still in the top 10. Mostly he's dropped because his 2 teammates have gone clear of him. And Cohen still has a little bit left. Can't go much harder, though, because he's going to run out before the finish line. And then right before the finish line. 7th place. He stays 7th quickest at 1:09 on the deficit. But that's yet another rider into the top 10. That's 4 riders. Well, it was 4 riders in the top 10 a moment ago. Somebody just moved clear of DeVos, dropping him out. Mullen was the favorite. He's only 6th quickest. There's Fetkov, another one of the favorites. So a couple of the top time trialists who aren't quite as good on the climbs, losing time in the final sector where my guys are hanging on. Veldeman, though, I think he will be one of those types where he could have a good time right now, though he's got a lot of energy to burn, so he's not that quick, but he's inside a minute. That's kind of a key point there. I don't think he's going to have a top 10 type time here. I still have 3 guys in the top 10. I still have 2 additional riders in the top 20, at least currently. And you can see we're certainly quicker than some of these guys. 3.7K, let's speed it up towards the end. Veldeman's still gaining time on these guys, even though he's not much of a climber himself, but having that energy makes a massive difference. He does not have any spare energy. He's going to run out right before the end. He does, and he takes 17th. But that is 6 riders in the top 25, when none of them necessarily are great on time trial, though Cohen is pretty good. But there you go, Conchi holding on to the lead for now, but there's a lot of riders still to go. Here's Rodriguez, Velasquez, here's Eastman. None of these guys are producing any competitive times. Miguel Bryan. We're up to 2nd place. Last guy is Williams. Oh, there's the yellow jersey, and no. So Nicola Conchi has just won the stage. Nice. Did not expect that. In terms of top 10 favorites, I had those few guys all on the list of top 10 favorites, but none of them were in the top 5. So we had 3 names just inside the top 10, and that's going to put Nicola Conchi into the race lead just ahead of Craddock. Hamilton in 3rd. Cohen inside the top 10, but this is a really good position for Conchi and Hamilton. Could we then compete for a top 2 for the overall in these last 2 stages? We'll see. We'll see what can be done here. Somehow KOM points have been awarded on both of these stages, even though there was no KOM points on the first stage. And nothing here either, but the finish line. That's obviously where the points came from this time. Steph Crass extends. McNulty extends with BMC. For a moment I was thinking that McNulty was on this team, but no, it was my career mode for 2019 that he was on, right? Initial season, but we did not retain him because he wanted a massive pay increase with only... Or is McNulty the one I... Oh my goodness. More and more this is happening that my series on Pro Cycling Manager are all just blending together, bleeding into one another, and I'm starting to get to that point where I have no idea who's on what team and when. It's too many series. Anyway, stage 3, Punchy. Yeah, it's got a few climbs. Not everybody will get to the finish line, but I don't see any reason to think that it's going to be anything but a large bunch sprint with at least 60 riders left. Probably more. I might see you straight away for stage 4 unless things start to pick up on this stage. Could happen. Depends on the pace. 165 kilometers, it's a shorter stage. So it could lead to an increased tempo. Looking at the makeup of the field, I just don't think that's likely. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I nearly skipped this stage entirely to go straight into stage number 4.
15 kilometers to the finish line. The breakaway is not to everybody's liking. The peloton has significantly increased its speed.
And it's more or less what I expected on the stage. It is a large bunch sprint. Without everyone, I figured at least 60. There's 90. So there are plenty of riders away. But with 12.5K to go, the more interesting thing here is there's a rider who's still a minute and a half away. Now, I don't actually care about catching him necessarily. I don't have sprinters here, though Feldman's got a little bit of speed, and I suppose we'll put him on the back with Conchi and Hamilton. And Cohen in front, even though Cohen's not a speed guy himself, though he's not terribly slow. And the reason for all of that, well, I just don't want to give away that much time. I don't know, it's competitive nature. We're not going to win the sprint, so I really don't have much to fight for here. I kind of want to just mainly make sure that these guys don't get dropped. So I'm not going to use all of their energy in this chase. But with a couple of riders off front, I don't want them to gain time. The guy who is furthest out front, he's down 3 minutes overall, so he is not a threat. But Davos, we're going to drop you to the back and use for Vecchi now. 8K to go. 7K to go. Look how hard it is just for us to catch Collins, but there's Anderson, so we will catch him. 6K to go.
This time it could go all the way.
We'll see what we can do with this one. It looks like we are about to reel in our guy, and we have. So there you go, 4K to go. Cohen will be the lead out guy, so we're getting down to it. Swerble, just a little bit longer. 3K, sure. And you can see how quickly others are now coming. And we're not really able to counter that. But we've successfully made sure that nobody's getting dropped today. Stop coming across the road. Don't you dare cut me off. 2K to go. And Cohen, sprint. There you go. Gain us a little bit of time and set up Veldeman. And 800 meters to go. And Veldeman's actually in the prime spot. We'll see if he could do something. If Hamilton or Conchi could get into the top 3, pick up some bonus seconds. Oh yeah, I would like that. Oh, Veldeman! Second. Yeah, Hansen takes the win, but Hamilton does get third with Conchi fourth and Devos fifth. Oh, I kind of miss this sometimes, how easy this game is on normal. Well, no, it's not that it's so easy on normal, it's just so easy for someone like myself who who's played this game for many years. Once you get to that point, though, I can see why I play the game on hard now with BZM19, and I will never go back to normal again because that was too easy. My guys aren't sprinters, yet we just took second, third, fourth, fifth. Right? All but first place on the stage without a sprinter. I mean, come on. Okay, it's Tour of Colorado. Nobody brought sprinters to this. But guaranteed, a couple of those guys were definitely quicker on the bike than my guys are.
And here are the key moments of the race.
And very nearly won it. Feldman, very close on that one. That was definitely less than half a wheel. More than a few millimeters, but it was very tight. Even Vervecchi squeezes into the top 10. So Conchi 9 seconds ahead of Craddock. Hamilton 17 seconds down, so he gains a little bit there. Cohen in 8th. Veldman DeVos up there, and it looks like a couple people lost some time. Was it just Ryan Eastman who lost time? No, there were others. Just a small group. And we're already down to one stage. Oh, the Colorado Classic used to be so nice just a few years ago. In fact, I think the last full week-long classic, well, it wasn't known as a classic then, it was the Colorado Tour of Colorado. Tour of Colorado up through 2017 at 7 stages was a nice show of climbing in the Rockies that had that mix of everything. I mean, it was definitely not a grand tour, not one of the major tours out there, but for a continental race, it was one of the better continental races out there. I mean, it rivaled the Amgen Tour of California, and then that over the last couple of years, Colorado Classic backs off and becomes a 4-stage race, and meanwhile, the Amgen Tour of California gains World Tour status. And there was better climbing at the Classic than you had at Tour of California. And that's just the nature of the mountains within the two states. I live right up against the Cascades. It's the same mountain range in California. It just goes by the Sierra Nevadas, different name, same range. Just, we can't seem to agree on which is which. But then essentially that same mountain range runs all the way down through South America as well. It's all the way down to the Andes. It's one continuous range. It just carries different names from time to time. The Rockies, however, are a different range, and if you've ever seen them, you realize that any mountains that you had seen to that point pale in comparison. Of course, there are some mountains around the world, ranges, that do rival it at least a bit. The Alps serve as one example of that, but we're looking at a pretty flat stage 4 here, so I gotta say, I think we're already there. It's 105 kilometers. How is this anything but a sprint stage? But if I quick sim this, they'll take this profile into account, and suddenly we're going to have time gaps. Which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, but there's Craddock. He is in the top 10. Hamilton could go on and win this race, but anyway. I'll see you for the final few kilometers as we wrap up the Colorado Classic. A race renowned for its climbing. It's really sad to see that there's not really any climbing left in the Colorado Classic.
10 kilometers to the finish line.
As we approach the finish, there's still a breakaway, but they're right there. These guys are going to be reeled in here pretty soon, especially once we start pursuing. We go for it again. We might as well. Veldeman sprinted pretty well last time, and we'll give him Hamilton and Conchi in tow. Let's see, I guess Cohen again for the lead out. Yeah. Yeah, he is that quickest one otherwise. And it'll be the same thing. We push hard, but assume that these guys are going to be just fine to get to the end because it's not that far away. So here we go, Swerble on the chase. Already down to 7K. And that's far enough for you. Get for Vecchi on the go. So Swerble gets us out front, pulls back about 10 seconds in that short period of time. And we're already down to 6K, so we'll get everybody's gel. And for Vecchi, also just about done. There you go, he brought us back the rest of the way to that group. And now DeVos. 5K to go. Oh, can we find a gap through? We do, just. Alright, I'm going to start our sprint a little bit early because DeVos is still out there. There we go. And now Cohen. $2K. We're a little early this time. It's technical through here though, and we're seeing a split. Oi! What'd you stop for? You weren't. Your red bar was not gone. You just rounded the corner. Come on, Cohen. That was peculiar because it pulled the whole field right back together with us. 900 meters stops us a little early here. Veldeman, Hamilton. Hamilton off to a good start. Guys are fading early. Veldeman's going to take the win. Are you kidding me? Oh, funny. Hamilton takes third again. So Veldeman wins. Hamilton gets third. Hansen second. There's Craddock in fourth. Wow, there's just no sprinters here. Conchi takes seventh. Oh, that's funny. So we get the win. That's how it's going to be. Yeah, without the finances to bring in the right riders to get us up to the next level, this is how it's got to be. I definitely need to end this series at the end of the season. A, it's too easy. B, we're not going anywhere and doing anything until we can see World Tour status. And starting with the tiny team, tiny budget that we started with, just turns it into a long, repetitive situation of I'm just kicking everybody's butt, but I'm not getting anything out of it. We're collecting all sorts of money that I can't then turn around and invest into the team. If only we could even put a small portion of that into the budget. You know, say you added 10,000. That's only 120,000 for a year. We've got 500 something thousand in the bank. Imagine if we added 25,000 per month to the budget. We could be World Tour status. So the overall finishes with Conchi in the leader's jersey. Craddock does hang on to second. Hamilton closes the gap yet further, but still 4 seconds behind. So he stays third, even though he got 2 third places on stages and picked up 8 seconds. Martinez is fourth. There's Sivakov. There's Mullen, Svetkov. Cohen finishes 9th. Veldeman up to 12th. Good result for him. Adding in 20 seconds or 16 seconds for 2 wins. Only moves him up a little bit, but it still brings him up a few positions, and DeVos in 14th. So we grab all sorts of points in the race, and we come up 1 point short of the points classification for Conchi and Hamilton both, and Veldeman just 4 points behind. Joyce was the breakaway guy, so we picked up a bunch of points there. We do get the under 25s and team classification. Stephen Williams going to Sky. Venipol going to Uno X. Development team? Ouch. Is he not that good on here? Has he not developed? 76? How is he not going the right direction? Really? That's current salary. Maybe next year it's different. It's my best rider on my 19 career mode. Okay, well, next up is Deutschland Tour. It is an objective, but I'm not worried about it. So we're going to skip straight to La Vuelta and have fun with our first Grand Tour, right? Is that our first Grand Tour? I think it is. First Grand Tour and fight. We'll see what we can do. I have the guys for GC, even if we're not great contenders for it at a place like that. So we'll see if we can get somebody into the top 10, and that'll be our focus for the race. So we will definitely bypass stages that are not relevant to that. But otherwise, our upcoming series of episodes will all be centered around La Vuelta. Nothing else really takes cake in the world of any sort of importance. And on the planner, how far have I gotten? Okay, I already have our team plan. So Hamilton, DeVos, Osorio, Vervecchi, Conchi, Swerble, Simpson, and Veldeman will make up the team. However, we do have Osorio out with a fractured skull. Of course, our second best climber is dropped because of that, unfortunately, and he will not be back until October. Anytime you have something as bad as a fractured skull, gotta say you're lucky to just be back at all. So I will need a replacement for Osorio. We'll definitely take our next best climber, somebody like a Vervecchi, Swerble. I don't know if either of them were in, but if one of them is missing, it'd definitely be the next guy in. But on that team index, you can see we're actually even slipping a little. We're only 29th. We run no risk of getting dropped with 3.5 stars, but nice if we could get even 4 stars. Doesn't get you into a world tour anymore. As a team, continue to race well. We move up a spot to 15th with a good little points total there. We'll see what we can do with La Vuelta, and we'll get started on it next time. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you for La Vuelta. Have a good one. Happy holidays. Be sure to hit that like button, and bye for now.